So I'm going to talk about the Starseed interest in Starseed that I have and the connection to everything really. I mean, it's not. I can't sit here and say I'm a Starseed because I'm not one of those people that sit there and meditate all day and can figure that out. But by judging by my experience and everything that I have seen through these inner memories, these visions, um, I come to the conclusion there's supposed to be some kind of starseed connection with this experience that I've been uh, going through since early 2012, and it would seem as though throughout the years, all of these visions coming to me seem to be the concept of like alien beings and life elsewhere, and the concept of like going through all the different stars and whatnot, and being different alien races and worlds close enough to dimensional worlds, close enough to our own, but their DNA is completely different. There's a lot of that inside of me. I've seen a lot of this stuff since early 2012, and that's why I've always been fascinated with just the mere concept of being a being that has already been throughout this universe, or at least amongst the stars. And this concept just seems to be something that kind of goes with me. And after everything I've seen within the first year of the experience, I remember that like I started getting the concept of like alien beings talking to me, different ones communicating with me through all this just inner voice, and it was showing the visions of the aliens, and that it would just it would be the inner voice, and it would be the vision, or this the little you know what I'm saying, the vision of the alien in my head, and it would be communicating with me, or then I'd see like different scenarios with the alien being. And this by the alien being, I mean there's just so many of them. But I wouldn't argue with anybody that says what you're trying to explain sounds like something's projecting holographic images of some sort, making these more colorful. Not all of them, shiny. Not all of them. Looking star fielded looking beings. And like I said, it was like having different conversations in my head. Angelic beings. That's all been like within this whole entire experience. Just them communicating with me or the inner voice. And I mean, it's still through myself. I can't completely unravel and uh, figure out everything 100%. But it seems the more I find sources on like just the concept of the general concept of starseed, and that there's something of that is like you've already been of some greater existence. You've traveled through the stars, um, and your whole purpose is trying to get back there throughout a human lifetime, or maybe it's something along the lines you will get back there no matter what. Either way, it seems like this has been my interest, even if I don't read enough. One of the greater ideas that I got out of this is that there's supposed to be like the main being, that's what I keep calling like the main deity entity, whatever. And it seems like they have many different forms, many different energies. Um, they're never, I mean, they can be, but like they're never the exact one. They're never exactly the same. They just kind of keep going on and on and on and on, like this infinite thing where they're just always something else. Or if I see like their main form, they would always have something different. There was this one guy that I'm talk about, and this is an example of one of many things that I've seen. And there's this bald blue figure of a man that is usually bare, or maybe I see them in some kind of robe with a cape, and like they have this scenario where like they either are with a ship that's like the size of a freaking continent, or many little ships, mostly like flying saucer kind of ships, and they're hovering over the Earth, and they're here to get their harvest, or maybe they're here to get their people off. Um, so if they're harvesting people, they're very friendly and loving about it. But you know how life is. There's no boundaries. Um, but the other thing I was going to say is like this being, this figure, this male, blue, bald bear figure, um, seems to have like this thing where they kind of take me uh, through, or they take me in as their own kind, or like I go through all these experiences, and then I eventually become their own kind, or like I did something in this lifetime to get there. It just kind of goes on. Like this is how the whole experience works. Where like it just keeps making up different scenarios as to how they could could reach out to me, or how they could take me in as their own kind. Um, and anyways, like this whole thing, like a lot of these beings, they seem kind of like they all came out of the same hole. You know, I don't know if that makes sense because I can't really explain that right now, but it seems like a lot of them all came out of the same hole, and that's why there's all still some kind of internal interconnection between them, and that's how they make one, or they just all come out and they're all connected in some form of way. There's different beings, different energies. You know, there's things there's like fire beings, black robe beings. There's woodlands council, like all these big mammalian beings, stars, the ghost star kind of being, which seems to be a huge figure in my experience. Where I mean, I can't really explain this one right now in this video, but like it has a lot to do with like uh, anger and math, and somehow mathematics, and some kind of star, fallen star angel. It's not really an angel. It gets more like a fallen robotic math being that only feels anger and math, and seems to be fascinating enough that there's that I'm seeing it all like that. But that's the element I've always gone with for that. Like it just goes on and on. I used to think when I was a kid maybe there's like 12 or 13 main councils. I think the truth is it's more than 12 or 13 elements. There's so much out there. Just like I keep saying, it goes on and on and on. And I know things represent like a third dimensional thing like fire, stars, and whatnot. And that's a lot of what these beings represent. But it's still what they can do. It's still how they exist compared to our human level of existence. And this is something that which the people on like a higher level of spiritual might explain, where it's like a lot of these beings, our life is a blink of a second for them. At least what we've seen with some of them, our life is a blink of a second for some things out there in the universe. And yet, uh, through certain key gates, boundaries, something like that, they're able to interact with some people. And maybe something in early 2012 uh, came out of that gate, and it interacted with me. And the only way it could do that was through inner voice, inner vision, uh, an opening experience for an individual to hopefully share with the earth one day as they help me understand myself a little bit more, instead of making assumptions for the rest of my life. So, yeah, everything I've tried to explain today is trying to relate to something in some form of way of starseed or greater alien higher existence, something like that. I've always had a deep fascination with it. I can't say I read enough. I don't read enough, is what I'm trying to say. And yeah, honestly, I think that get something out of that. Get something out of this, honestly, because I really am trying to make a message here, and making it clear is very difficult, as you can tell. But anyways, thank you for watching if you did.